says you're born in Steubenville, September 30th, 1885.
That's right.
How that makes you how old now?
You're 94.
94.
94.
Wow. Well, what I like to do in these interviews, just ask you, you know, where you grew up and where you grew up, what your family did, you know, and how you broke into baseball. Just, you know, a little bit of family history. I think it's always very interesting to me. So if you could just start it and what your dad did and how you got into playing baseball. So, it's all yours.
I love baseball. You know, you have to have a desire in baseball. That's what Reading Cobb was a great ball player. He had a desire. He wanted to, if he's shooting, he wanted to shoot better than anybody else. He wanted to play golf better.
What'd your dad do? He play ball?
No. No, he was a glass worker. I was a glass worker, so I had to either quit playing or quit working, so I quit working.
What glass company did he work for?
I worked for a Headley Glass Company in Danville, Illinois. I learned my trade there, glass blowing.
In Danville?
Danville, Illinois.
Well, didn't you, how long did you live in Steubenville?
Well, I guess, I don't know, just lived there maybe a year or two or something like that.
Oh, I see. Your family moved then to Danville?
Family moved up around Laserville, West Virginia. Then moved to Indiana. I moved to Indiana when I was 5 years old.
Oh, I see.
And I was raised in Indiana.
What town?
Anderson.
Oh, yeah. Anderson. Carl Erskine country.
Yeah. There have only been about 3 or 4 that have gone out of there.
Well, you don't have too many remembrances of
No.
Steubenville then. Okay. Did you go to school in Anderson then?
Yeah.
Did they have a ball team at school?
Yeah, we had a baseball club.
Where'd you play your first professional ball?
I played first professional ball with Paris, Illinois.
When was that? Do you remember?
1970.
Was that in what league was that in?
Eastern Illinois League, little Class D league.
Who signed you? Do you remember? To a contract?
Bob Connery.
Bob Connery.
Out of St. Louis. I was signed to a Cardinal contract.
Where did he see you play?
Saw me play in Texas. I was playing with Waco, Texas. I was one of the few fellows in those days that made it good right from the start.
How did you happen to be in Texas?
I signed a contract with Decatur, Illinois, and the league blew up on 4th of July, and I went to Columbia, South Carolina. It was the South Atlantic League. Played there, and then that was in 12, Went up in 13.
Went from Columbia up to the Cardinals?
Went to Cardinals. I was there for 4 years, and
Who managed the Cardinals when you went up there?
Miller Huggins.
That's right. How'd you like Miller Huggins?
Oh, fine. He's smart. We didn't get along too good, but he was a great manager.
You knew his baseball.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was one of the baseball greats. He had a reason for doing everything he did. Now they don't, too many of them have a reason for doing something. They just take a chance.
Was Huggins a pretty good handler of men?
Yeah.
He couldn't handle Babe Ruth, I know, but
Real
but I wondered about generally speaking.
Babe had a bunch with him. I was just trying to think of the ones the bad ones.
Who were some of the players in the team of the Cardinals that year you went up? Remember?
Yeah. Bill Doak, he was small high. I'm just trying to think of not too many from Ohio. Sally.
Slim?
Slim Sally.
Slim Sally.
He was on there. From around Cincinnati. I think we had to throw in a Brower on there too.
Frank Brower? In your first baseman, I think.
Yeah. Let's see, I believe Dick Niehaus was from Ohio.
Frank Brower.
Last one.
Oh, I see.
This was at the winter baseball meeting?
Beg pardon?
The winter baseball meeting?
No, yeah, winter in December. The meeting was in Toronto this last year, and before that in Orlando.
That was nice and handy.
Yeah.
Did Eddie Roush get to the one in Orlando?
Yeah. I was over there, and they crowned me over there.
Who were some of your... how'd the team do that first year up with the Cardinals in 1913? Do you remember how?
Yeah, we finished third in 14.
Uh-huh. Did you play most of the... Were you up with the team most of that year?
I'll tell you, I had a bad leg. 2 years and a bad knee. 2 years each knee.
How'd that happen?
Sliding and sliding into me and stuff like that.
You played...
Hit the side.
You played shortstop?
I played third base, mostly. Some shortstop.
You got spiked quite a few times there?
Not so much, but it seems though I had trouble with that attachment right here. on the side of the knee.
Left knee, huh?
It hits you on the side. And
You have to learn to get that foot out of there in a hurry.
Yeah.
Who was the, who played shortstop then?
Boy named Butler.
Butler? And second base?
Huggins played second.
Oh, he was a playing manager, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I see.
Part of the year, and then he quit.
And the first baseman?
Kenichi played first.
Oh. He was a big one, wasn't he? Easier to throw to those big first basemen, huh, than
Yeah.
make a nice target. Says here you played in 1914. You played most of the season. 137 games in 1914. Playing both third and mostly third, though.
Yeah, I was out with a bad knee, and it was about a month.
Uh-huh. Who owned the Cardinals?
A fellow named Robinson.
Did you ever meet him or talk
Oh,
to
yeah.
him? What kind of a guy was he?
Yeah,
This was Frank
you
Robinson?
know him a little better than you know him now.
There were two brothers, weren't they? Stanley and
Stanley.
And Frank.
No.
what the?
No. His wife really owns it.
Oh, yeah. Britain, or? Did you, what kind of money did they pay you?
Well, I got, most I got out in Major League was $4,000. That was fairly good money at that time.
Did you have any contract troubles at all, or did you? Where were you
You
living?
never held out, you held on.
Did you get a letter during the winter with your contract in it, and then
Yeah.
send it right back? Where'd you live those winters? When you
I lived in St. Louis a couple of years.
Uh-huh.
I lived in Indiana. We'd go back to Indiana.
You played 1915 and 16. You played about half a season. Were you injured then?
Yeah. Yeah. Bad knee.
How'd you?
You didn't have they didn't operate on you in those days like they do now. We've had ball players operate on 4 or 5 times their knee.
Uh-huh. You ever go to Bonesetter Reese?
No, but I know a lot about him. He was a steel worker.
Oh.
He had strong hands. And I played in California in 1919, I think it was. And there's an osteopath named Spencer. I went to him. My back was bad, and I went to Spencer in L.A. And Spencer told me that the old fellow had torn the ligament in two in whose arm? One of the two fellows, he claimed it total ligament in two, and his arms were strong. Didn't know anything about treating ball players.
But an awful lot of ball players went to him.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, traveling around. Well, when I was at Bonesetter Reese,
Yeah, we talked to a number of players in the Cleveland area, like George Yulee.
Yeah, they used to go.
And Walter Miller. They said they've got to be quite comical. They'd begin talking about bad arms, you know, and I mentioned Bonesetter Reese, and right away they took it in. So.
Well, Spencer told me, he said the scar tissue's there to show that he did tear
That Reese did?
tendon into, yeah.
He did some damage then.
Oh, yeah. He told him to be all right in the week. In the week, he couldn't raise his arm.
Is that right?
Bill Killefer was one of them, catcher,
Yeah.
and Big Ed Walsh.
Oh, is that right?
Big Ed Walsh. Ruined Ed.
I think it would have gotten around. They wouldn't have gone to him so much. How was it batting against Christy Mathewson?
Well, I never had so much trouble against Matheson. Matheson, he was a... You know, now the balls are pepped up.
Yeah.
There's 30% more, at least 30% more. And with the hard top, with that black top on there, you know, they have to use that. It makes it that much harder. Just changed so much that you wouldn't think it'd change it.
So that's the dead ball really helped pitchers like Mathewson then? They're pretty good anyhow.
No, Matheson never, he was a type of pitcher that never pitched hard until he got men on. With that lively ball now, you can't take that chance, you see. You're playing with ballparks at 315 feet from home plate to the fence. Kick your coconut over that.
How about Rube Marquard?
Rube,
Bat against him much?
yeah. I remember I got 4 hits off of Rube.
You did? Tell me about
First game I
sideways on it. There, yeah. That's a nice looking scrapbook. Did you keep that yourself? Scrapbook?
Yeah, we did. Some write-ups last winter.
Oh. Do you have any duplicate copies of any of these?
Big fine.
Do you have any second copies or duplicates of any of these?
Yeah.
I'd like to, if you could spare any, I'd like to put them in my...
I just hadn't...
Very nice.
Minor league clubs.
Uh-huh. You got 4 hits off Marquard, huh?
Yeah, well, if I can,
Oh, it's in the...
if I can find them. I was managing a minor league club one time, and they get all messed up here on the. I never paid much attention to these until lately.
We saw Rube Marquardt in the summer.
Yeah, last August we saw Rube Marquardt up in Baltimore.
Yeah.
He was just on his way going up to the Hall of Fame. He wasn't well though, so don't know how he made out.
They're back in there someplace.
Uh-huh. Well, tell me about it as you remember it though. That day against Marquardt there.
Yeah, I remember I got 4 hits. Yeah, I got four hits off of it the first game I ever played against him. Now he laughed. I had to get him a book to show him.
Uh-huh. 4 hits off Marquardt first game he played against him. I have here a list of players he sent to the major leagues. Jake Early, Gil Cohn, Jimmy Bloodworth, Tony Roig, Ed Linke, Ray Scarborough, John Marion, Earl Wooten, D. Miles, Leon Pettit, Bill Andrus, Cecil Travis, Sam Holbrook, Ray Phoebus, Kirby Hayes, and Goose Goslin.
Well, you have quite an impressive list there.
Jackie Taverner, Will Seymour. That is a list.
I guess I'd really send more players up than any other scout.
You've been scouting? You scouted for 48 years, was it?
I still scout.
Is that
Well,
right?
you'll have to come to Marietta.
I picked a boy up 2 years ago, and
What was his name?
they made him as you get older, I feel more lately than any other time forgetful. I'll have that stage one of these days, I guess.
He's up to the big leagues, you mean, now? You
He was Rookie of the Year.
this last year?
Yeah.
Which league now? Oh, yeah. Should know. I can't remember. That's a good one. First base. Blank.
Does he play for Minnesota, the boy?
Man,
Does the Rookie of the Year play for Minnesota, the one you just sent up? Or?
I'm a little hard of hearing.
This chap that you just sent up, who does he play for?
Twins.
Twins?
Twins.
Uh-huh.
Made good right from the start.
Isn't
Yeah.
that nice? Gratifying. You know, we have, they play the Class AAA, or Class AAA,
Division 3 college.
Division 3. College Series, World Series at Marietta every year.
Oh, is that right?
And we never can understand why there aren't more scouts at it. But they just don't seem to. I think out of last year's World Series, they only drafted one person. And yet, you know, Kent DeCaldy, the Pirate pitcher,
Pitcher.
the relief pitcher,
Yeah.
he went to Marietta.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he was never drafted. He wasn't.
Well, I don't see it here yet, but can you remember the batting against Marquardt, getting those hits? Must have been quite a thrill, huh?
Yeah. I haven't paid any attention to the book. And just now and then something like this come up or something.
I want to take some pictures of it. What was your best day? Was that your best day in the big leagues?
I guess that was.
Have any other good days? Here it is, here.
Oh, yeah.
Here it is. Right here.
Got the box score.
4 out of 4. 2 runs scored. You made an error, though. 3 outs, 3 assists. Your pitcher was Powell Parrott and Robinson. That was a good Giant team, wasn't it?
Yeah.
George Burns, Larry Doyle, Snodgrass, Myers, Bescher, Jim Thorpe. Yeah. Doesn't give the date on it, though. It's June 5th. What year? Who were some of the tougher pitchers you had to face?
Offhand, I'd have to see their names.
Well,
a pitcher named Candeliner was a tough. He's kind of a herky-jerky.
how about
He gave me more trouble than anybody else.
who was he with? You can check him out, maybe.
He was with Pittsburgh, I believe.
How about Grover Cleveland Alexander?
Yeah, I hit against him a lot. He's a great pitcher. Real good control.
Very interesting. Well, how'd you like the umpires?
All right. I remember when they worked a single system.
One umpire?
Yeah. I remember in 1895, I saw him Cincinnati play, and the catcher stayed back for the grandstand, so he got 2 strikes on the hitter or a man on first base. And then he'd go up and put the matches going.
When there was just one umpire, did the players sometime cut second base?
Yeah, I've seen him playing cut right straight across back to second.
Poor umpire. Huh?
Yeah.
Now they have 6 of them, or 4 of them.
4 of them.
World Series they have 6. Did you serve in World War I?
Yeah.
I noticed your You played in 16, but not in 17, and then a little bit in 18 with the Yankees. So I thought maybe...
I jumped the Yankees.
But you were in the war, or in the Army, or?
Well, no, I wasn't. I was just over the edge on the draft.
I see.
And I thought I ought to do something. I went over in the steel mill. And after I got over there, I was sorry because people walk around there with a wrench in their hand and just walk around and not do anything. He's working on 10%. He was leading the league when he left, and well, he was leading the league when he came, and when he left, why he 2 games out in front, and I beat him, won the pennant that year, and the thing that hurt him most was I had an outfielder. He released, and I signed up, and I sold him for $7,500 to the White Sox.
Oh.
And that,
Well, he was, I don't know. But obviously something, now whether it was his mind or that, because, we were sitting talking just the way we are. And all of a sudden he said, who'd you say you were? So we told him. Yeah, and he said, what newspaper are you with? And my husband said, I'm not with any newspaper, I'm a college professor. I don't talk to newspaper reporters. I won't have anything to do with it. And so he wouldn't talk to us anymore. So we got up and left. And the nurse said, oh, don't, you'll be all right. But we didn't. We thought at that point we better get out. Because, he apparently... But it was newspaper reporters he had to think about, I don't know. But, everything was going along very nicely, so all of a sudden, who did he write to? And, he had told us he was a college professor.
he grew just like me.
Oh. Well, he has. So we just thought, because now he was on his way to the Hall of Fame. And it must be, whether it was his wife's son, someplace along the line, a stepson, was flying in from London to go up to Cooperstown with him when we were there. Because I didn't see how he was going to make it.
I don't know how he's living anyway. I don't think he ever had money.
Well, boy, either that or he's married him. I didn't say that. But, it was one of these big plush apartment complexes.
Yeah.
And everything was done, blue carpets everything was done in blue and white with big lush furniture. And it was it was almost a showpiece rather than a place that people live in.
He worked at the racetrack.
Yeah, well, maybe that's...
Did you know that?
Yeah, I think he told us that.
Yeah, he worked at the racetrack, sold music.
Yeah, well, whatever he did, it came from someplace.
Well, I don't know where his money comes from.
I don't know either, but because it was one of the, almost every ball player we visit, their house is like our house, a nice, comfortable house. But this was, as I say, almost like a showpiece, with velvet covers on all the furniture in there. They're covered in velvet. And it was just different, that's all. He had a ground floor apartment, and the whole one end was, and I'm sure the living room was as wide as his house, in his apartment, the big one.
2nd. And we had a Christmas card there from Kovalevsky, Stan Kovalevsky, the pitcher. Yeah. I guess they made it up to Cooperstown this year, they said. And I don't know how old he is.
Well, our club, we stayed in second place all season up until the last 6-7 games. And we lost about all those games, and we went out of second place into about 4th. And Calvin Griffith told me, he said, the players have been crying around about money, and he said when they had a chance to finish second with several $1,000 in Memphis, they just fell down.
Doesn't Bob Randall play for Minnesota? Is there a Bob Randall?
Yeah, the second baseman.
Their second baseman?
Yeah.
He worked down in Marietta one winter, and he was over at the house with the Caldy, and another boy that was at the college called Tatum, who was a bonus baby for some Oakland. And he went to school in the fall and then took every spring off. But by the time he graduated, it took him 8 years to get that degree. But then he had lost his stuff and he's out of it now. But Marietta has, I think now they have 3 players, the college itself, that have been. They have a pitcher named Tice down in Atlanta. Well, he's with their farm team. But he had an arm shoulder operation this year, I think. Then another couple of boys coming up, Tracy. I forget who the other one is. But it's a good baseball town for college ball, Marietta. They always have good teams down there. Or they used to do. They may not this year.
Well, I'm 94. I don't know. I can't go a whole lot longer.
Oh, I think you're remarkable.
It's embarrassing, I should forget so many things.
I don't see why. I can forget walking from one room to another.
Well, I can. I know I have parts of the only nice thing about the whole thing is I won't be tied up so long.
Yeah, that's true. But I think it's remarkable that you can get around and do as much as you can. I think that's the beauty of it. Yeah. We have people we live in a little town across the river from Marietta, Williamstown. And when we moved on the street that we live on now, there were 4 people 100 years old on it. And they were all out working in their gardens and, they just kept worked up a storm. And I thought, boy, how delightful that, to be able to keep on going like that. But I don't know. I think when you can get out to the ballpark in the summer and that, then you have it made.
They call me now and then, ask me, they want me to pass on somebody. On the last year. They told me they wanted me to pass on. The rest of the guys to pass on. Told me they wanted to stand like it.
What do you look for?
Well, I look for arms. That's the first thing they're supposed to get on, because if they have a good arm, they may be able to play any place. See? Now they don't pick a first baseman for the play ball much. Because if he can hit by, they put him in first base. And you have a pitcher to help him and second baseman to help him to a certain extent.
About speed.
Speed? Oh yeah, if you don't have speed, you can't bother with it.
What if they can only hit? Now that we have the designated hitter, does that color your thinking a little bit now?
Well, you can learn to hit. I can show you in my own averages that you can learn to hit. You got the truth there right in those books over there.
How did you learn? You yourself? By watching other people? Or?
Was standing. I started to manage the ball club. Columbia, South Carolina. And we were standing there one day, and the boy player there, he said, Dolly Stark says, hold the back knee rigid. Hold your back knee rigid. And I thought that's right. It made a hitter out of me. Just that one thing. Because my weight was back, you see. When I made my right leg rigid, that took weight all on that, too. And I hit Gosden led the American League in hitting, and he out-hit me in 2 years, just about 3 or 4 points. In 2 years. He hit 316 and 312, I think it was. And then the next year he hit 290 and I hit 383. Now that's what I'm taking mine from. What I did when
Who were you with?
I was managing Columbia in the minor league.
Why did Miller Huggins tell you these things? It's somebody up in the big leagues.
Well, you never know. You never know because Hug used to say to me, so you hit like Bobby Burns. Because I couldn't hit. And he used to say, and he'd say, he'd go a couple of weeks and he'd say, all right now, and try to hit like somebody else. He'd have me have 3 or 4 different people there that he wanted to pattern after. And I finally couldn't hit it. Did well enough for all of them.
Did it hurt your confidence doing this? That change?
No, I don't believe so. I don't believe. I just figured I wasn't a good hitter in that one, and then I got to hitting.
Get these both in here. Over 340 for 12 years as manager. Good. This was 32, right?
a fine fellow.
Goose Garland. Saw him play many times. He really could hit the ball.
I think I'll get him in
Yeah.
because it's always hard to get in.
He's taken over the field. And he had a lot of things that going on out there. He has 2 or 3 tournaments through the year. Had about 53 colleges last year.
My. They're probably the big schools, though, aren't they?
No. He's surprised at the number of colleges come down here every year. Just for a week.
Yeah, well, I know that's what Marietta does. They come down, but as I say, I think they must go.
They got a beautiful setup out here. They got 3 or 4 fields out there. With the big field for the stadium.
Yeah. They used to have a team here, though, didn't they? A professional team?
Yeah. Yeah, we came in here as a time in 36. Chattanooga Club.
That's just as in
Oh, yeah.
not a research, Well, here we are. It's Monday night, December 31st, 1979. New Year's Eve. And we're holed up in our little room, big room, in a Days Motel, or excuse me, Days Inn, south of Orlando, Florida.
We drove down from Williamstown last Thursday, December 27th, spent the night in Rock Hill, South Carolina, drove on to St. Augustine on Friday, December 28th, stayed at a KOA campground between St. Augustine and Jacksonville that night, spent Saturday, December 29th, touring historic St. Augustine, wonderful day, stayed in the campground again that night, and on Saturday morning, December 30th, Sunday morning on the 30th, we also spent seeing some things we had not yet seen in St. Augustine. In the afternoon, drove down to Sanford, where we spent the last night at the 12 Oaks campground, a few miles outside of Sanford, Florida. And this morning, or earlier, or on that, to back up, on yesterday afternoon, after we got around Sanford, I called up Zinn Beck and inquired if we could come and see him for an interview this morning, and he was very agreeable, and so we set the interview up for 10 o'clock this morning, December 31st. So we broke camp, got up early, about 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock. It was dark, and we got everything put away, sat around, read the paper till the place opened up. Then went into town, into Sanford, about 9 o'clock, had breakfast, and then were there about a half hour. Then drove out to Zinn Beck's house, got there a little before 10, and had this interview, which I have to admit was not much of an interview. He's a very gracious old gentleman who is 94 years old, despite some clippings I have here would say he's 95, born in September 30th, 1885, He'd be 94 now.
But he's in his 95th year, as you would say.
Yes, he is in his 95th year, but he's 94. As you would say.
That's right.
And he just didn't have much to say. His memory wasn't too good, which he apologized for several times. And he didn't follow up on some of the things he was started on. I did most of the talking, as is obvious on the tape. And I'm tired of hearing myself talk on these tapes. But at least we did talk to Zinn Beck and got a little feel of his personality and his love of baseball. We got his autograph on the baseball. We got some clippings about him and from local newspapers which have honored him on every one of his 90-plus birthdays, getting particularly a chair out of a rocking chair out of the Orlando baseball complex, although it's in Sanford. He was given this chair. We have a picture of it on his 91st birthday, which was back in 1976. And each year they changed the number to 92, 93, and it had on it today, when you're out there, 94. In fact, I took a picture of him in it with the 94 showing, I think. The Zinn Beck chair. Why don't you tell us about his house now?
Well, of course, we were only in the one room. But it was a small, one-story house. The living room was a good size. I'd say it was probably, maybe 15 by 15. The living room was quite large because he had a television set and he had a big chair, rocker chair, a big chair that he sat in. I sat in a big leather chair. Then he had two other big chairs and a sofa in it. And one wall had all his baseball things on it. And off that room was a dining room. And then at the other door was into a bedroom. So he may have just bought that, after his wife died or something.
Did you find out when his wife died?
No, all he said was there were only the three of them left. Himself, his daughter, and her son. Now, there was a picture of the daughter on the wall with two children, so obviously something must have happened to the other one. The son is a stockbroker in Miami and has one daughter, so he has a great-granddaughter. But the house was very nicely furnished. There were traverse rods, traverse drapes on the windows.
Not very pretentious from the outside.
But some beautiful things on the inside. That fish was lovely. That was on the mantle.
He had a picture of the 1914 St. Louis Cardinals, one of those long panoramic pictures where the players standing in a long single row on one wall, which I tried to take pictures of in segments, but I could not get the right lighting on it, and I'm sure it will be very poor. And also on another wall, the 1915 Cardinals, himself in both of these pictures, and again a long single row. I didn't bother even try to take that one. There are two other pictures on the wall, which I did take pictures of. One was himself, and the other one was himself, but with a different head of himself on a different picture of himself, if you understand what I mean. It still looked like himself, though.
Or was that his body, too, on that other one?
It was himself, I think, but just they somehow
superimposed the other head on it.
It was very well done because you wouldn't have noticed it.
But he had, there was one from Charlotte, a certificate or a trophy or something. There was one from Sanford, Florida. There was one from Chattanooga. There was one from Steubenville.
These are framed certificates of merit or honor awards given to him as outstanding contributors to the sports and well-being of these cities.
There was one from Steubenville. He had his crown there.
That crown, as you may have heard in the tape, was put on him probably by Bowie Kuhn at the 1978 Major League Winter Meetings held in Orlando.
It was, because he has his picture taken with Kuhn there.
Yeah.
And, but he was just a nice little old man. And as he says, he knows he has hardening of the arteries, but he figures then when it really happens, he won't have very long to go in a debilitated stage. But he regrets his memory. He is having trouble with it, and he admits it.
He was a wonderful gentleman. He just was as nice and pleasant as could be. But he didn't have much to say. There was so much he could say, but he wasn't able, I suppose, he was inhibited by his not being able to recall some things, couldn't hear some things. Much of the interview may sound kind of irrelevant, but was centered around a scrapbook, I suppose. I kept switching the thing off, and he was looking through the scrapbook. One of the problems was I would mention things, and he would go off to bring back something or to point out pictures. Like when I asked him about who the teammates were in the 1914 Cardinals, he vanished and went over to look at that picture on the wall and began reading off a few names. And then I mentioned something else. He went for a scrapbook, so there's an awful lot of dead air there, I'm sure. The scrapbook was kept by himself, and it covers much of his playing career. He must have quit playing in the late 20s. He said he managed 12 years, and I guess he played most of those years. Went scouting for 40-some years. I'd go back to about 1930 or so. So I suspect he finished playing in the late 20s or early 30s.
Yeah, because they said it's 73 years?
Yeah.
73 continuous years in baseball.
And
he's been with that one organization for 47 years.
The old Washington Senators, the Minnesota Twins. The scrapbook wasn't that elaborate, but it had some nice things in it. And I took a lot of pictures of the newspaper pictures of him in there, which I'm afraid aren't going to be much. I don't know, I have more trouble with the lighting that I've ever had before in that camera. I thought the lighting was good, but I had to switch the speed down to 30 instead of 60, and at that speed you have to hold that camera awfully steady, and I felt it shaking. But anyhow, I got some clippings of him, as I mentioned, and pertaining to his 91st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and so on birthdays, which has a little bit of his biography in it.
He had all the record books from 1900 on.
The baseball guides.
Baseball guides.
I know he had Reach, and I think he had Spalding too. Maybe not.
And he had blue books going way back.
He had the Reach guides up until they finished, and then the Sporting News guides. He had baseball registers since they came out in 1940. The blue books, a lot of the blue books from about 1940s or 50s. When he was heavy in scouting, of course, he'd need the blue books.
Yes, but he had the blue book for 79 sitting on his coffee table.
Well, he's still a scout.
Yeah.
I think he's an honorary scout now, is what I think. Although he said he sent up the player last year who in 1979 won the Rookie of the Year award in the American League, and I can't think of his name.
I wonder if it's the American League or if it was in the
no, I'm
in
sure,
the league.
I'm sure that Minnesota had the Rookie of the Year player. Wouldn't that be a feather in his cap? At 95 or 90, in his 95th year, sending up the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
That's a story right there. Wow. But then we got to talk about the baseball camp.
Yeah.
So
then
you talk.
In one of the stories it had his day, he gets up at 6:30 and eats his breakfast. Then he goes out to the baseball camp every day. So he went out to, he was telling us we should go and see this stadium. So we said, all right. Then he went and made a telephone call.
And we had to go and see the stadium.
Yeah, and I said, oh, you can ride with us, forgetting the way the back of the car was filled with all our camping gear and everything. So the three of us scrunched up in the front seat, and everything that we carry in the front seat was dumped in the back.
I thought you were getting awfully fresh.
I know. My foot's on the accelerator almost. And we went out to the baseball game. And he took us back there and introduced us to the man who runs it, who is Wes Rinker. Wes Rinker.
46 years old. He played with he was in the Giants organization from 47 to 51 when he went to service and came back and played 1 year with the organization in 56. Then he went out of baseball. What he did from then on, I don't know, but he came back about 4 years ago and
that's where the Giants used to train.
Yeah, the Giants. So he knew about Sanford. He knew about the town, and what he had done. I wish I had asked him what he had done from 56 to 76. He already came back here, and he had heard that the old Sanford ballpark, where the Giants had trained, which I believe had a team in the Florida State League, was not used anymore. It was going to seed and being cluttered up with litter and so on. And he had this idea of a baseball camp for boys. And he came here 4 years ago, and he spent some money. I'm quite sure he spent a lot of money cleaning that place up. He said there was, I don't know how many
tons of
broken glass and beer cans and other litter scattered throughout the high grass throughout the field. He got it all cleaned out. It's a beautiful layout today. And he said his office was an outhouse for blacks.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
And it's a nice office now with a lot of